Boosting the employability of young Filipinos. That's the goal of the Jobsnext initiative. It aims to provide training programs that will equip young individuals with future skills in various areas, especially digital technology. Jobsnext is an initiative of the advocacy group Philippine Business for Education, or PBED. And joining us now to tell us more is Justine Raagas. She is the Executive Director of PBED. Good morning, Justine. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us, Ria.
All right, now there was a 2022 report from the Asian Development Bank and LinkedIn which showed that the demand for tech talent increased significantly in the past 5 years. How do you think this program now, the Jobsnext program, is going to help augment the knowledge and skills of youth in order to prepare them for the changing demands on the job market?
So indeed, the projections now for digital jobs of the future, technology is really rising. And we want to make sure that our young people, particularly those coming from disadvantaged backgrounds or out of school youth, are not left behind. So the Jobsnext program, which we implement with local governments, academia as well, and private sector partners, really aims to bring all of these players together to create training programs that are really responsive to the needs of the workplace.
Right. So looking at the demand and then preparing the future workforce for that. Now, I think there was a report from the Management Association of the Philippines that says the shift of learning from, the traditional face-to-face ways of teaching to digital education and even through social media is quite alarming. What do you have to say about that, and where do we find the balance?
So I think MAP prefaced its statement by talking about the learning crisis, and which is very important. We think that we're happy that more and more organizations and institutions are actually calling for it. But we shouldn't be vilifying digital. We shouldn't be vilifying technology. In fact, we should be using it as a tool to help prepare people, especially that young individuals that are digital natives. So there has to be a balance between making sure we use it responsibly. Teachers are also equipped to teach through these methods.
Right. I wholeheartedly agree with that. You can't vilify tech, right? I mean, it's there. You just have to learn how to use it in the best possible way. Now, you mentioned your training programs. Can you give us concrete examples of what these programs look like?
So our training programs are, as shared, they're industry designed. So we work with private sector partners. We actually have programs with PLDT, for example. There are also programs with Amazon Web Services. So essentially, they are in areas of digital cybersecurity, also in analytics, and entrepreneurship as well. So basically teaching our young people to become entrepreneurs, but in the digital landscape.
Nice, very nice. Now, you also mentioned that you do all of this in partnership with the LGUs. How important is it to work with them, and how many LGUs are you working with?
So we really believe that government is essential in teaching, in training people for jobs of the future. But we also see that local government units have a role to play because one, they have resources, and second, they actually know the demographics. They know how many youth they have to train. They also know the demands that are specific to their localities, and they can also reach young people fairly easier. So in fact, in many of our projects, not just Jobsnext, we try to activate areas as small as the barangays, because that's how we can reach young people all the more.
Fantastic. Now, what is PBED's position on the Jobsnext bill, which seeks to encourage and incentivize worker upskilling and reskilling?
So again, we are really pushing for the national government taking on these upskilling movements, and in fact, we are very supportive of the Jobsnext bill, and we are supportive also of other efforts similar to the Jobsnext bill. So it could be any policy, for example, as long as it really pushes for training for young individuals, and making sure that these trainings are informed and respond to the needs of current and future demands.
That's right. All sectors need to be all hands on deck for this effort. Justine, thank you so much for speaking with us. That was PBED Executive Director Justine Raagas.